So diversity and inclusion are terms that have gained a lot of momentum within our educational institutions. While globalization has yielded a more diverse workforce, inclusive practices are not um, successfully implemented because it requires a growth mindset. This particular presentation will focus on how educators can adopt a growth mindset and promote inclusive practices so that they can create an inclusive environment and the stakeholders, including teachers, parents, and students feel welcomed. One important thing that I would like to share is that mindsets can change over time, and thank God for that. So here are some of the characteristics of people who subscribe to the fixed mindset. They are not receptive to change. They are more rigid. They are uncompromising, and they believe that a person is born with intrinsic qualities and their experiences as well as new learnings cannot change their views or perspectives. On the other hand, people who subscribe to the growth mindset, they are more adaptive, they are flexible, they are open to learning and growing. And they believe that everyone has potential and success. I like this, that success is not binary or limited to only those people who have certain characteristics. The growth mindset can be compared to a lobster, which might free itself from its shell when it becomes too tight. Although this exposes the lobster's tender flesh to seawater, which can be painful at first, it also makes it stronger and larger. Ultimately, the lobster develops a new shell. To be inclusive, we must also be willing to let go of our restrictive beliefs or attitudes and be willing to accept and acknowledge our vulnerabilities and biases. Now I'll show you a short video of this rabbi who discusses the same concept.
Said, how do lobsters grow? I don't care how lobsters grow. But I was interested in it. And it points out that a lobster is a soft, mushy animal that lives inside of a rigid shell. That rigid shell does not expand. Well, how can the lobster grow? Well, as the lobster grows, that shell becomes very confining. And the lobster feels itself under pressure and uncomfortable. It goes under a rock formation to protect itself from predatory fish, casts off the shell, and produces a new one. Well, eventually, that shell becomes very uncomfortable as it grows, right? Back under the rocks. And the lobster repeats this numerous times. The stimulus for the lobster to be able to grow is that it feels uncomfortable. Right?
So the way I look at it, we must be willing to engage in sometimes uncomfortable conversations to grow and develop.
What's that?
All right. So I'm a visual learner and I was looking for an image that can further explain these concepts regarding fixed and growth mindsets. This image focuses on how anti-racism is approached by those who have a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. I will pause for a moment and let you all read and review the image. And if you Google Maria Sosa, S-O-S-A, who is a holistic health expert, you should be able to find this image easily. How can educators create an inclusive classroom? A growth mindset can reduce stereotyping based on arbitrary characteristics. We all need transformative leaders within our schools so that they can ensure that our students and parents, especially from diverse cultures and backgrounds, feel welcomed and have a sense of belonging in the school community. One of the first things that educators need to do is to become aware of their own biases. Are they addressing the needs of only a few students? Is the classroom inviting to everyone, even those who belong to a different culture or background? Are they intentional when they group students? And if so, is the grouping biased? Gender stereotyping about females' ability in STEM related fields severely limit the future of female engagement in STEM related activities or STEM related careers. In an article, professors who signal a fixed mindset about ability undermining women's performance in STEM, the authors shared results from an experiment and a survey. Both studies demonstrated that a professor's mindset can have a significant impact on students' achievement, performance, and motivation. Many girls, especially African-American girls, are not encouraged to pursue a career in STEM-related fields due to gender and racial bias. Students must be introduced to role models within who are from their communities. For example, Kazmikia Corbett, an African-American, played a significant role in developing the COVID vaccine. When students see people from their culture being represented, they are more likely to feel that they can also succeed and pursue different careers. Now, I want all of you to close your eyes and think of a woman from Pakistan. I can't do this exercise with you because if I close my eyes, I will be snoring. So I want all of you to close your eyes. Now, when you think of, many of you think, when I ask you to do this, you'll think of a woman who is wearing a hijab or a burqa, okay? Now, consider this photo. This is a picture of Aisha Farooq, who has become Pakistan's first war-ready female pilot. So when you see such an image, it gives hope to females that they can do anything that they want to. It also clears stereotypes regarding people from different races, ethnicities, and genders. Early childhood educators and parents should be cognizant that gender stereotyping and STEM, an understanding of STEM emerges, gender stereotyping in STEM emerges in the early years. They play an important role in developing children's beliefs regarding intelligence and how they approach challenges, including difficult tasks and responding to suggestions and guidance. look around your classrooms for educators, especially early childhood educators, look around your classrooms. How are the play areas divided? Do they encourage boys to play in one area and girls in another? When I ask people this question, I often hear that they have, especially when I ask people how are the play area divided and are there diversity, is there diversity within their classrooms? They say, yes, we have dolls from different ethnicities. But diversity is not all about representing people from different cultures. It also includes, diversity also includes representation of different abilities, different sexual orientations. And we must be cognizant of what diversity encompasses. So is there representation of people from diverse cultures in your classroom, diverse races, diverse religious beliefs, diverse abilities, and sexual orientations? There is significant research that demonstrates access to diverse toys is beneficial for children's holistic development. Research that was conducted by Dr. Jones at Queen Margaret University showed that after playing with toys that highlight a disability for only 3 minutes, and I repeat, for only 3 minutes, children develop a more positive attitudes towards those peers who have a disability. So Mattel recently announced that they will release a version of the Barbie doll wearing hearing aids. Such toys make those who wear hearing aids feel represented. I remember when my younger daughter was in an elementary school, one of her friends used to wear a hearing aid. And many children did not want to play with her because she could not hear well. Toys such as these can develop empathy in children. Lakeshore and Educational Toy Company has these blocks that represent different abilities so that children learn to develop, when they play with these toys, they learn to develop tolerance, empathy, as well as positive feelings towards those who use these, for example, or who use a wheelchair or a cane, or cannot read, who cannot see. So we must have these toys in our classrooms. So American Girl, again, a toy company, also introduced a Muslim outfit for the dolls that incorporates a hijab and clothing traditionally worn by Muslims. This is my picture. I was so excited when I heard about this that I actually went to the American Girl toy store and took a picture. This was during COVID, so well, we still have COVID, but you can see that there's a picture, and I actually wrote an article, and I'm going to share that those articles with you at the end, these resources with you at the end. But toys like these make students from different cultures feel represented. Family makeup is always evolving. Some of us live in a nuclear family. Some children live in a nuclear family with mom and dad. Some live with extended families like grandparents. And some families have 2 moms and 2 dads. So there should be some representation of diverse families, family makeups. Lego recently launched an LGBTQ themed set, Everyone is Awesome. Crayola now has multicultural crayons, which represents different skin tones to foster a greater sense of belonging and representation. Children inevitably get hurt at school, and many may need a bandage to cover their wounds. Wouldn't it be great if the bandage actually matched their skin tones? Recently, Band-Aid launched a range of bandages in different shades so that children feel, again, represented, they feel included. Leading a classroom with a growth mindset is a powerful way to promote equity within any institution. In a commencement speech at Stanford, Steve Jobs ended his talk with a quote: "Stay hungry, stay foolish." We must continue to remain hungry for more knowledge. We must be willing to learn and take chances to think out of the box so that everyone feels represented, included. Here are some of my resources, the resources that I wanted to share with you. These are, again, all of them that I've written, especially for those who teach in a preschool classroom or in early childhood classrooms. These will be, these are easily accessible online. So wanted to share these with you. And this ends our presentation. Do you have any questions? Let me stop sharing and thank you.
We'll see if the questions, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Any questions, any comments, any thoughts?